Hello, we are back home now. I came back from Vietnam about a week ago, and I'm all dressed up now because I am going to an IKEA event where I'm hosting this little repotting booth area. I already did 2 of these events on Wednesday and Thursday. Today is Saturday, but I didn't film Wednesday or Thursday because I was like really nervous about the event, but now that it's the last day, I'm more comfortable with it, so I'm taking you all along with me. And look at my outfit. I've been wearing like gardener-esque outfits for this event because they were taking pictures and stuff, so I wanted to look the part. But yeah, look at these. This is my holster for my secateurs. The event starts in about an hour. Chris, you ready? Yeah. Hello, here we are at the IKEA event. Here is my booth. Isn't it cool? The music might be a little bit loud. We just started. People are able to use these pots and repot their plants. We might need to do a voiceover because the music is too loud and it might be copyrighted. IKEA held an event to highlight circularity, sustainability, and a new program where they buy back used IKEA furniture. At the event, they brought in 3 creators, including myself, to host booths within the venue. My station was for plants, then there was an upcycled fabric station, a plant-based food station, and a room highlighting a new IKEA collection. At my booth, I taught people how to propagate houseplants and kitchen herbs to keep in line with the circularity focus of the event. And then I also taught people how to repot plants and let them take home a little houseplant. It was such a cool experience, and I'm so grateful to have even been considered for this opportunity. I had a ton of fun. And there was also this other booth for aura reading, which I've never done before, and my aura was mostly blue. They were trying to explain the colors to me, but to be honest, I forgot what they told me, but mostly good things. Hello, we are back home now. It's actually been a week since I last recorded, and I want to share with you some of the things that I brought back with me. I mostly just look for ceramics when I'm traveling. I don't know why, like, that's the only thing I have my eye out for in terms of souvenirs. I think it's because it's a practical decor piece, but I can also use it for my plants or use it as a vase. This one I didn't actually buy. I got it from my grandparents' house. I saw it and they're using it for one of their plants, and I was like, oh, I really like this pot. Where did you get it? Because I would like to get my own. And they said that this isn't actually a pot, it's for a water dispenser. And so they said that you can't actually get this anymore, so they just gave it to me. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. But yeah, it has drainage holes underneath, and I just really like the shape and the color of it. And then we stopped by this ceramic store that had a bunch of these like very aged sort of dirty pots that I think have a really cool look to them, and they have a nice shape. So I'll mostly be using these outdoors in my garden. And then here's this one that is supposed to be used as a lantern. So a lantern was supposed to go on top of it, but we just purchased the bottom part of it to use it as a pot. And I also like the shape because it tapers in and then it goes out. So this is one of my favorite things that I got. I think my favorite one was this one, and then this is my second favorite. I'm planning to turn it into a planter because it's just a vase. I'm gonna drill a hole in the bottom. I hope it doesn't crack. And I'm going to put like a tree-like bonsai shaped plant in here. I think it's gonna look really nice. And then this one from the same ceramic studio, it looks a little bit cleaner, and I think this is also really nice. I probably won't keep both of them. I'll use one of them for some type of client work probably. And then there was this other pot that I really liked, but it cracked in transit. It cracked in the plane, unfortunately. But it cracked into really large pieces, so I'm going to try and glue it back together with this method called Kintsugi. I've done it before, not with Kintsugi, but with silicone. I put a broken pot back together, so I'm gonna try to do that in this video. Other than ceramics, I also brought back this broom. I think the brooms in Vietnam look so cool. I don't know, just like the shape and the materials of it. And also, Vietnamese brooms, they just work so much better than brooms that you can get in the US. If you haven't used an Asian like Vietnamese broom before that's made of some type of grass. I don't know exactly what it's made of. Then you're really missing out because it makes sweeping so much easier. It's lightweight, it's very feathery, so it catches all the hair and the dust and everything. And these are used for outdoors mostly. It's used for like leaves and larger pieces that you need to clean up. So I got some of these for outside and for my balcony. But look at how cool this looks. And it even comes with a little thing to hang it from, so you could also use it on your wall as like wall art. So I've been editing out here a little bit and responding to some emails because the weather's just been so nice right now. And I'm supposed to hang out with my friend soon. Her name's Gloria. She's Mexican and she speaks Spanish. So every once in a while we kind of just like speak Spanish to each other because it's kind of fun. And also I want to get a little bit more proficient at the language. I took Spanish in high school, like a lot of Americans and Californians, but yeah, I'm not that good at it, especially my accent. You know, my accent sounds very American, but it's always been fun to just like chat with her in Spanish, and I'm gonna call her and speak to her in Spanish, and she doesn't know I'm calling her. Yeah, I'm gonna see if she wants to hang out soon. Hola, Gloria, ¿qué haces?
Hi, Benji. Speaking Spanish now?
Sí, estoy practicando.
Okay, let's see. Ahorita es que estoy manejando, pero ¿qué pasa?
Si estás cerca, podemos ir a comer, si quieres.
No, sí quiero. Es que estoy muy cerca. Puedo llegar como en 15 o 20 minutos. Pero si quieres, también podemos cargar boba.
Okay, yeah, te veo en 15 minutos.
Okay, te veo en 15.
Okay, adiós. Bye, Gloria. These past few months, I've been learning Spanish with Lingo to Flex. I took Spanish in high school, so I have a bit of knowledge on the Spanish language, but I forgot a lot of the rules of the language, like conjugation and also speaking in past tense. Living in California, I'm surrounded by Spanish speakers, so I want to build more foundational knowledge on the language and also get more practice with speaking, as my pronunciation is not that good. I sound very, very American. So Lingoda connects you with native level teachers that teach live lessons through Zoom. You can choose one-on-one, private lessons, or group lessons. I personally prefer group lessons for Spanish because it gives me an opportunity to speak with more people. There's a variety of different skill levels in terms of the courses you can take. So if you're a beginner or if you're intermediate or advanced, there are classes for you that can help you with your language learning. As you know, I'm taking Spanish, but they also have German, French, English, and business English as well. So Lingoda Flex works well for me because I can choose which chapters of the course I want to take. For example, I already know how to introduce myself, but I have some trouble with past tense and conjugation, so I can choose a chapter that focuses on past tense. Let's make 2024 the year where we reach our language goals, and you can sign up for Lingoda Flex using my code BenjiPlant for 35% off. See how well this room works for this kind of stuff? So I'm back home now, and this is one of the pots that I got from Vietnam that broke. I kind of thought it was gonna break because there was a small little crack in it, and we also had to put it in our check-in luggage because we didn't have any carry-on that was large enough for this pot. But luckily, it broke into pretty large pieces, so we can put it back together. I am going to try this method called Kintsugi, which is a Japanese method to repair broken and cracked ceramics, but I am using the epoxy method, which is not how it's traditionally done. The traditional way looks a lot better, but it is more expensive, and some of the materials you have to be really careful with. I'm just gonna do the quick, easier, cheaper way. I don't know if it's going to look good. I've done this before, not with Kintsugi, but just with silicone. I put a pot that was broken back together, but I'm going to try Kintsugi with this one. because I think it could look good if I am careful. Here's the little kit I got. It comes with epoxy glue, and then this is like the gold paint, gold powder that you mix in with the epoxy. So you put that mixture onto the cracks of the pot, and then you just stick them together and you let them adhere to each other. I'm gonna try and be very careful and not be too heavy-handed with it, so that way the glue doesn't ooze out. It's a good ratio. I don't know how much you're supposed to mix in. So I think it looks best when people are very careful with it, so it looks clean. Now I just have to hold it. Let's see, how long does it say? Hold it in place for 30 seconds. It actually turned out pretty nice. I thought it would look like super arts and craftsy, but should I start the other pieces now? Okay, so this big piece goes here. So I'm just gonna apply the rest of the Kintsugi on this piece and then also on this piece, and then we'll put it together. It's a lot more surface area to cover this one. I think it looks pretty good from this side. I started to add more of the gold glue on this side, so that way it kind of protrudes out of the cracks. On the first piece that I did, I didn't add that much because I was worried it might ooze out too much. But I like how it looks when it comes out just a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it here, let it dry. It says it cures within 24 hours. Also, this is tape that I need to try and remove. It's just really stuck. So my neighbors are trimming their hedges right now, so there might be a little bit of noise, but we're just gonna keep going. The native garden is looking really good. I'm happy I did a lot of weeding before I went to Vietnam, because otherwise it would have exploded. The weeds would be everywhere. The grasses have really started to grow in, and we have a bunch of flowers. We're getting bees, we're getting lizards that come hang out on the rocks. The hummingbird sage is growing really well, and it's spreading a bunch of little babies everywhere, so I can't wait for that to fill in. I also got this really big tree fern that I found on Facebook Marketplace. I love Australian tree ferns, and I've been looking for one that's large like this and tall for the longest time, but it's hard to come by. It's not a native plant, but I love how these look. Some places in LA, they have a bunch of these, and they just look so cool, and they can become so tall. Planted it here. It was in a pot before, and I can't wait to see how it grows. These are very difficult to find when they're so tall like this. I don't think I've ever seen a tall tree fern at a nursery before. And then over here I planted this blood gold maple that I had in a pot. So the last step for this garden really is to add a vining plant to cover up this wall. I'm thinking of either a native grape or, I don't know, some other type of native vining plant to cover it up, because it just does not look very nice, and I think to get some vines growing on it will just complete the space. And yeah, everything is filling in so nicely. I'm so excited, because for a while this garden wasn't like looking that great because the plants still had to establish, but now that we're in spring, summertime, they are exploding in growth. Now I want to repot this ficus that I have in the pot that I got from my grandma's house, the white cylindrical one. So let's go do that. Okay, so here is my potting station area. It's a little bit of a mess. I was just doing some repotting and stuff out here. This ficus, I actually don't remember the name of this. I got this at a random nursery. I just love the shape of this thing. It has all of these branches coming out of it, and it has a thick trunk at the bottom that spreads out. This is the pot that we're repotting it into. It's a little bit smaller than its current pot, but that's okay. I'm not really trying to get this plant to be any bigger than it is. So a smaller pot really isn't that big of a problem, but I do think this would look really nice in this pot. Oh wow, it's coming out really easily. Whew. Okay, so this is super root bound. So I'm gonna remove a lot of these roots so that way it fits inside of the pot. This thing is so insanely root bound, I feel like it's choking itself out. Like the roots are wrapped around its trunk. So I think I need to free it from itself. I don't think I've ever encountered a plant this root bound before. So we've run into a slight problem. I didn't account for the fact that the roots would be really thick and the base of it would flare out. So the plant trunk is a lot thicker than I thought it would be, so it just does not fit in here. Even if I were to trim the roots, the trunk is just too wide. So unfortunately this pot is out. I'll find you another plant to fill you up with. But I have this pot that's just been lying around outside that fits this plant. We're gonna put it in here for now. It's not my first choice, but it will get the job done for now. So I didn't fill up the entire thing with soil because I am going to put live moss on the top. I find that live moss actually does pretty well outside. The live moss that I use, which is available on my website, you can buy it. Can't wait to see how this turns out. I feel like it's really set up for success now. Yes, good luck, unknown ficus. I have one of my ficus right here. This is my rubber plant, Ficus elastica, and I'm training it to curve and bend, and the bend is really nice right now. Later I'm gonna remove the lower leaves, and there are some growth points that are coming out. I'll show you some of my other ficus over here as well. We have this ficus umbellata that I am getting to branch out. You can see we have a lot of new growth points coming out, and they just started really emerging now that it's warmer. And here's the other ficus umbellata. You can see all of these growth points emerging. There are so many of them. And so the trick is to cut off all of the leaves and cut off the growth points and just put it outside where it can receive direct sunlight, and that for some reason, for whatever reason, it really encourages a ton of branching and new growth shoots. So there's like 8 or 10 growth shoots on here. The wisteria is flowering now. It's so pretty. The front of the house is looking pretty nice, and this frame is just so beautiful. So next, I want to take you guys up to the balcony. It's not the most impressive thing ever, but we got a lot going on, and I think it looks great. I'm very happy with it, so let's go check it out. Come here. Come here. I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Gio. Look at the baby. Did you all miss him? I missed him. It's been so fun to be back home with Theo. My baby, my baby, my baby. He's loving this warmer weather. He saw a bird. Oh. So I had to change around a few things out on the balcony, especially my raised beds, because I used a soil that was not very good. I used the soil from the people who sold me the raised beds, and the soil was terrible. Nothing grew in it. Like even my other plants that I potted in the soil, not in the raised bed, like in just their own pots, they also didn't grow. And then all the plants that I planted in a different soil grew so huge and so well. So yeah, I know it was the soil's fault. So I pretty much restarted most of my beds, and I added in a ton of really good compost, and I switched out most of the plants. Instead of the flowers and a mixed arrangement of other random things in this bed, I have native blackberries. This species is Rubus ursinus. I'm actually kind of happy I switched it out, because before I didn't really have a plan on what I was gonna put in the planter or just put in anything. So this is actually kind of nice because now I have a fruit that I'll actually eat from whenever these produce fruit. I don't actually know what season they produce fruit, but we are getting a little bit of flowers. So these are the nasturtiums that I planted with a different soil, and they took off when I came back. They were huge, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But then all of the nasturtiums that I planted in the raised bed, they were like this tall, like actually the size of my finger. So I knew something was up. And then I have the cilantro for my dad. It's starting to bolt, I think, but I like cilantro flowers, so I don't really mind. It's getting warmer, so cilantro, I don't really think I can grow cilantro very well now. Also, I added these burlap bags around the grow bags. I think it looks kind of cooler. It looks more natural. It fits in more with the aesthetic that I'm going for up here. So in this raised bed, I cleared everything out, and then I just planted water spinach because I realized if I want enough water spinach to eat throughout the summer, then we're gonna need like an entire raised bed of it. And this stuff is now sprouting so much faster than before. I don't know if it's because of the change in soil or if it's the change in temperature because it's warmer now, but before these took forever to germinate, and now they came up within like 3 days. And then over here we have these very beautiful purple, pink, white zinnias, and they also shot up really nicely. I feel like I should have planted more of these. Oh no, these aren't zinnias, these are cosmos. Yeah, I feel like I should have planted more cosmos. I love how they look. They're very feathery and beautiful. Maybe I will just plant more. I feel like it's not too late. And then here is a native California grape vine. I think this is I can't remember the Latin name, but I think they call it the California desert grape. And yeah, I put this trellis here. It's vining really nicely. I want it to cover this trellis behind me. And I feel like the balcony was missing some type of vining plant. It needs some bushy grass plants, and then it needs a vining plant, I think, for it to complete the look. So that way we have a bunch of different textures going on out here. I have 50 seconds left on my SD card because I have not cleared the Vietnam footage from the SD card yet. Hey, Dan, you wanna come up? Oh, I thought he had a tick for a second. Okay, yeah, once again, thank you all so much for enjoying my Vietnam videos. It just means so much to me, honestly. Yeah, Chris and I are also going to be traveling this summer. We're going to go to Ireland for his birthday, so I think we're going to vlog that too, because I love travel vlogging. It's like my favorite thing to film right now. Okay, bye-bye. Thank you for watching. Bye from me and my Spermonia africana that I was just watering, and bye from Theo. And we will see you in the next video. Goodbye.